But I was at a game, like at a conference, there was people like lining up to get a signature, and I was just blew my mind. I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, this is insane!" Like, because you're just doing it behind a screen. And I was at the gym the other day, and someone wanted a photo, and it was just these moments that have happened like recently, where I'm just like, "Oh my goodness! Like, this, I can make someone's day just by saying hello."
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tempest Talks. Today, we've got one of the best gamers on YouTube. Playing stuff from GTA 5 to Battlefield and everything in between. Modest Pelican. Hello, Geoff. How are we doing?
G'day, Mason. I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man.
That's good.
Let's get on with the ride. Right. So, to anyone that doesn't know who you are, do you mind just telling everyone a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you are at the moment?
Yeah, of course. So I'm in it from Australia. I started a gaming YouTube channel during university because I was a bit bored at my job that I was working at the time, and it sort of just started to take off, and I'm still just the same, guy in the, bedroom with a laptop making videos, but it's just got a little bit of momentum, which was very nice. So, yeah,
nice. So you had, was it a full-time job before you started doing YouTube?
Yeah, so my girlfriend and I had moved out, so we had to work full time. So I was doing like three subjects, so almost full time study, and then 4 days at this finance firm. And it was pretty good, but it was just a weird situation where I'd always try and do more work for my boss, but he never was that interested in it. So I was like, well, I've got all this free time, I might as well use it on a YouTube channel or something. So I sort of just started that on the side. Yeah. But
did you ever did you say university?
Yeah, so I finished an accounting degree, which is pretty fun stuff.
Yeah.
Really strange choice. It was like one of those moments where you're a young man and you're being told to pick your future. So I just sort of landed on accounting somehow, but it was all right. I had good friends and I loved playing sport and stuff. So it had its moments. Yeah.
Sport in accounting?
Well, I just played a bit of soccer and whatnot for the uni. Yeah.
So
calculated games.
So you finished the accounting degree, and then you went straight into YouTube. How did that come along? You did it on the side, but was there a long period between uni finishing and the YouTube stuff?
All very much overlapped. I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel. I've been a massive nerd, really into gaming sort of my whole life. And I actually had a few cracks, but technical problems, when I was really young, but technical problems made it too hard. So I sort of threw in the towel. And then I was just, studying, and I was like, this is probably my last chance to really have a crack at it. So I'd already thought about it a lot. And I sort of, put pen to paper, started making edits. The videos were terrible, debatably, still are pretty terrible, depending on how you look at it. But, you start off and, just sort of people got around it. And, I sort of saw the momentum. And I just had this very, pivotal moment where it's like, I'm contributing 10, 20 hours a week to this channel, and I've also got a job and I'm also studying. Some of this stuff has to go or I'm not going to have much of a life. So I just made that call. It was a bit of a financial risk, but it's what it is. And it was, hopefully proves to be the right one. It seems to be.
So you started obviously trying to go into something completely different, ended up, you ended up as a YouTuber. And your content when you began was all Battlefield videos, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was just the one game I was sort of playing.
So how do you think your content has changed much over how long's it been since you've become a YouTuber? Is it 3 years?
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Do you think your content's changed much over the course of time?
Yeah, I think putting myself out there on the internet really, I've never really cared too much, but I remember you put your first video up and you're kind of a bit nervous about it, and you've got an idea in your head, but it's very hard to create that in person. And then over time you just sort of realize look, I'm having fun. It's free content. I'm just trying to entertain people, make people's days. So you still care a lot about your content, but all the walls come down and you're just uploading and having fun. And I think I'm basically there now. Over that 3 or 4 years, definitely just enjoy it a lot more. It's all very fluid and it's good.
Was that everything when you were young that you thought you were going to do? And how do you feel now that you are a YouTuber? How old are you?
I'm 27. Yeah.
So there's a little gap between us of 6 years, but we grew up of the generation where we saw YouTubers become big. We saw people earn money off it. We were the sort of Ray William Johnson generation where we saw all that kind of stuff. Yeah. How do you feel? Do you think it's weird if you're told 13-year-old Pelican that you were gonna be a YouTuber? What do you think he would have thought about that?
Oh, absolutely. I think he just would have blown his little mind. Like, I was there watching, like the Ray William Johnsons, but the Call of Duty guys, and I just idolized them. I thought they were so cool. And yeah, so I mean, it's a cool spot to be. Like, I think I'm just really grateful for the community that I've got around my channel. Like, 'cause at the end of the day, it's just all these people who have just made this come true for me. And it's really just a sort of a wholesome vibe that I get from it. Like, I've always just tried to have fun. And I think the people who watch my videos are just having fun. And so yeah, I don't know. Young self would be pretty happy, I think. Like, it's basically my dream job. Like, I'm really blessed to be here, I guess you'd say. It's always weird to talk about because it sort of just happens just overnight. Like, I'm not used to it yet. I guess
it doesn't actually, it doesn't phase you. Us as journalists, we ask what's life like doing this job that you never imagined. But I guess because you ease yourself into it, it doesn't even make a difference. Like, you don't even notice it happening until somebody asks, like, what is life like as a YouTuber?
Yeah, I think I've had a few moments that just blow my mind. Because at the end of the day, like, I just sort of see myself as like someone who just still has a computer and is still just making videos, and like, it's just the numbers maybe haven't quite hit home, I suppose, in a way, which I like. Like, I like just keeping it like very. But I was at a game, like at a conference, there was people like lining up to get a signature, and I was just blew my mind. I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, this is insane!" Like, because you're just doing it behind a screen. And all right, I was at the gym the other day, and someone wanted a photo, and it was just these moments that have happened like recently, where I'm just like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, this, I can make someone's day just by saying hello, and it just feels like goofy to me. Like, I don't think I don't mind the attention, but I don't like crave the attention. So it's very strange, but. Like kind of cool, I guess.
Do you find people don't recognize you until you start talking?
Yeah, look, I don't get recognized much. It's not like I've got paparazzi outside their house. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that hasn't happened much, but the few times it has, it's kind of been pretty surreal.
Well, I was going to say that because we're making sure as part of this series to interview loads of different types of YouTubers.
Yeah,
you are probably the only gaming YouTuber we'll ever do. In general, I'm not the biggest fan of gaming content, but yours is genuinely very, very funny. It's
man.
Like you. Well, it's not like you. The scripts you write are really well thought through, and so everyone we ask is of a completely different genre. So we have Max Fosh on as the last one, who's an English YouTuber that does some strange stuff. And we try to ask, like, what is the proudest thing you've done on YouTube so far? And it's usually interesting because it gets some pretty different responses.
Yeah, right. I think, like, probably the most I'm like most proud of is just all any charity thing that I've done, like being in a position to raise money for good causes. Like, that's something I really want to double down on into 2021. Like, 2020 was all about just growing the channel, but now I want to focus more on just like giving back. But in terms of just like pure, nothing to do with charity, I think I started as a bit of a series with Grand Theft Auto. Like, I always wanted to start my own series of some kind and like be a writer, not really be like a voice actor. Like, in fact, my voice acting is almost a bit of like a meme. Like, it's just so monotone. Like, it's almost just like me talking. Like, it's just me talking, and for whatever reason, that's sort of resonated with people. But I never really wanted to be like the voice of it. But I just realized from doing a few projects that it was just so difficult to get into the content creation entertainment industry unless you were someone's son or someone's, brother-in-law or something. You just had to have a contact. So I was like, I'll just do it myself on YouTube. But I wanted to, create a different kind of content, like not just playing games. I wanted to like add scripts and make little stories and just, almost create my own, dialogue. And I think with Grand Theft Auto on the game, that's just such an amazing game, and the ability to do that through Grand Theft Auto Online is probably the coolest thing I've made, I think. Of course, my friends is a big part. Sorry.
It's impressive because you've made this, that group that you're in, that you play all your games with. Were those all your friends before you started YouTube, or is that a thing that you've collected up through playing games?
I met them. I actually met almost all of them online. It was like, but they've just all brought people in. But these days we met well before YouTube was a thing, and we just get a house 2 or 3 times a year and just have a lot of beers and a good time, and like we do that as much as we can. And it's really great. It's really great to have this group. Like it's 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night, and there's not much going on. You can just log online and have a few games. I think that's been part of probably why I've enjoyed YouTube so much, is that it's just like I can always involve my friends, and I'm always getting to do stuff with them, and they're a part of it, which is really cool. And one of them's actually started his own YouTube channel now. But out of like 10 of us, only me and this other guy have really had a crack. Like they're not, they're whatever engineers and mechanics, and they've got their own careers. But it's just cool that you've got that group who are all pretty involved, and then they'll banter me about it, and we'll have a good laugh. So yeah, it's been a massive part of YouTube. They're like called the Stealtho Boys or Sons of Virgins. Like we don't really have a name for it, but it's a really good group of lads. Like I'm really grateful to have them. Yeah.
Which other member has started the YouTube channel?
Stealtho Carbo is his sort of gamer tag, but no, he's uploading some great stuff. Like it's really, really, really good.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So when you look around at YouTube, I don't know, do you watch much YouTube, or do you just upload a lot to YouTube?
I've noticed there's definitely been a correlation between me like uploading more as I became more into YouTube. I definitely watched far less. I honestly just watch this one guy called T90 who does like competitive. It's really specific, but Age of Empires competitive stuff. And I really just watch him. Like I like his style, but otherwise it's just my girlfriend and I watching like more mainstream television and shows. So I guess, yeah, I definitely, once I started uploading more, watched a lot less, which was really weird.
That's strange. The thing that I was going to ask you, I imagine that the editing process, I imagine, is probably relatively long. It's all right for you because you're playing the games anyway. But I imagine having to trawl through hours of gameplay is probably long. When you look at people making content like just watching a YouTube video and reacting to it, do you ever think to yourself, oh, I could just put a little bit less input into my video and get more out of it and it's easier?
It's always, I guess, how you see things. Like if I was to just prioritize views and money, of course you'd just go and play Fortnite. I'm not sure if you've heard of Fortnite, but it's like by all means a very impressive game. Like what they've done is incredibly impressive, and it's definitely targeted at younger kids. And there's just the views and the gamership is amazing. So if you were just making a business decision, you didn't really care about what you were doing, you'd go and play Fortnite. Like you'd build your whole channel and work your way to being a big Fortnite channel. So for me, it's been a bit about like, obviously, I've got to have clickable titles and thumbnails and stuff. But for me, it's like, I'd rather grow slower if I'm just doing stuff that I actually love and I'm enjoying making. And I think that does actually in turn flow through to the content a bit as well. But, I'm not too phased about all that, man. Like if I'm not having fun, then why did I ever leave accounting type thing? So
exactly. I mean, that's part of the point of this series, is that every single person I've asked that question to has pretty much come out with the same response. And I've interviewed people that have just take the bins out for their content, but it's really interesting. And I think it's crazy how some people can put no effort in and take so much gain out of it, but other YouTubers put hours and sink hours. I mean, you've done relatively well, not relatively well. I mean, 1 million subscribers is better than my measly 55 on my personal channel. But you look at a lot of content, and it's crazy how they can rack up the views with a whole lot of not much input into it. Yeah,
I guess my thought behind that as well is like, if people because there's always people memeing and having bantering and roasting each other, like, oh, that content's so effortless and so bad. But it's like, okay, maybe it is for us in our 20s, but like 10 million people are watching him every time he posts a video. So like it can't, like, it depends how you like measure bad. Like it's like almost like art. Like 10 million people liked it. Like I think that content's terrible, but 10 million people are watching it week in, week out. So like he's doing something right. So I don't know, I still respect it. Like I respect what they're doing, and they're obviously smart and they're obviously captivating an audience. But yeah, for sure, I think some people really are just trying to find the most efficient way to like get as much content out as possible and as much views. And you've got to it's more of a business to them, and that's fine. Like I get it.
I think it's kind of impressive that they can do that, right? I mean, Belle Delphine. You look at her, and she posts pictures of her in her underwear, and she makes ridiculous amounts of money. So
she's just like, on first glance, she just seems like, I don't know, like any other kind of girl doing that, or any other guy, I guess, doing that, anyone. But she's hilarious, man. Like, I was scared. My friend linked me some of her stuff. She'll put on like, upload to like adult websites and act like there's going to be a really like perverse scene. Like, I don't know how family friendly I can speak, but you can censor it, I guess.
Go as much as you like, man.
It'd be like Bella Delphine gets destroyed by 2 black cocks, and she'll be sitting next to, and then it'll just be like her playing with 2 roosters. Like, and so she's, she does take the piss. And I think, obviously there's just those maybe simpy type guys who love her stuff, but it's pretty, I don't know. Again, she's working with what she's got, I suppose. So.
It's really strange for me and my friends, because my best friend used to be like really good friends with her.
So, true.
So she's English, and they used to have these emo meetups in the underground in London.
Oh, Jesus.
And have you seen that video, the meme of all the emos dancing under the underpass?
I have, to like Christmas carols. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It was pretty much like that. So my mate, who was a massive emo and Belle Delphine, used to go and meet up and do that. And now she's a multi-millionaire. And it's and it's strange watching people, because that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, internet creators are just normal people, and we get so used to looking at people like Jake Paul who live this lavish lifestyle, and we forget that at the end of the day, they're literally, if you're uploading YouTube videos, you're probably a little bit of a nerd. No offense, but like,
I'm obviously a nerd.
That's the thing. I mean, even Jake Paul, like, they're probably nerds to get into the whole like internet creation thing. I also love the fact that earlier you said, "Have you heard of Fortnite?" that was one of the most wholesome things I've heard in a while.
I'm sorry, I didn't know how in deep you were. I think the world's out of Fortnite.
Yeah, I haven't escaped it that much. It's kind of has it hit like all your shops over there? We got a shop in the UK called Primark. And you can't escape it. There's just big billboards in the windows of Primarks everywhere.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't really go away.
That's like Fortnite, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough about Fortnite. Sorry, I went on a tangent there.
No.
Do you ever find yourself getting compared to other YouTubers a lot, or do you find that you hold your own space on the YouTube world?
I think this is something, like, I've had a few, like, I just try not to care. Like, I just try and upload and enjoy it. Like, really try and be like a bit of a carefree person, because that's when I'm just happiest, where you just focus on the good stuff. But when I did briefly sort of get involved with a lot of other YouTubers, and they were all really good people, like all of them just really good people, but they were all just stressed out of their mind from comparing themselves to everyone, and like how big was their following and how relevant were they compared to this YouTuber, and were their views down. And I was just like, oh my God, like you are just killing this job. Like, this is... Like, they're doing so well, but I mean, like, killing as in, like, this isn't fun anymore. Like, this isn't a good lifestyle. Like, you're so stressed and so worried about comparison. So when thinking about, like, who would I compare myself to, like, maybe I found a bit of a niche, but man, like, I'm just not too worried about it. Like, just really trying to focus on just doing my thing and running my race. And if someone else is going to copy my style, or if I'm copying someone's style, like, I just don't care, like, about that sort of stuff too much.
I suppose when you get to that bit where you're checking your social blade every day and going through your analytics, it's a dark place to be. Like, because at the end of the day, you're saying, like, these are still just people, like, and it's just, they work, such good people who are just making such great content, and they just slip into that, like, very dangerous lane of, like, nothing ever becomes good enough. It's like, oh, you got 5 million views on that video. Like, that's amazing. It's like, yeah, but this guy got 7 million, and because he posted now before me, and it's like, holy shit, dude. Like, I don't, like, this will just be never ending. There's always going to be someone who's putting in the extra hours or sacrificing more of their personal life. Like, where's the line? So I don't know. Like, I really, really just try and stay away from any kind of comparison. Just, that's my personal thing. But I think people don't notice that they're sacrificing their personal life as well. I mean, it's completely different, but I saw an interview with Britney Spears back when she was at her prime. Yeah. And Simon Amstel asked her, what have you sacrificed to become famous? And she was like, nothing. Well, my personal life, but nothing. And which it's just clearly saying like, but like you look at people like that, and once you get to that point of, especially when you're on the internet, there is no escaping. Well, I mean, you seem to have done relatively well, but I imagine in general, it's easy to become part of the numbers game. I mean, I get it from being a journalist. I don't switch off. I'm always on my emails. I'm always trying to find that next scoop. So I imagine, how have you managed to switch off?
I think I was heading there, to be honest, like without realizing it. Like I was checking my analytics and always trying to make this month better than the previous month and entering into that. And then it was just being really just like, because I've just hung out with that group of friends I was telling you about, and that's always just been like, I haven't really networked very well. Suddenly I joined this management company, and it was like I was surrounded by all these different YouTubers, and it was just this snapshot of like me coming in and expecting just to be like having beers and everyone's friends and everyone's really chilled. And I made some great friends, and then like I said, they were great people, but everyone was just so stressed. It was just stress. It was like Wall Street of like, again, I just realized, oh my goodness, this is no different than working 7 days a week for Wall Street or for a big, law firm or something. They've turned it into that. So that was kind of saying what I was probably heading towards, and then just being like, this isn't who I am as a person. Like I've always just been someone who tries to live in the moment a bit more. So I just stepped back and thought, look, if this month is less than the month before, like I can live with that as long as I'm, working hard and getting good content up and putting a lot of effort in and running my race. Like I'm sort of happy. And ironically, since I really adopted that properly, the channel's done better than ever, which is just because I'm sure it does flow through in some regards. So
I think people can feel the honesty, right?
Potentially, yeah.
And the interesting thing as well is, I imagine since you've started YouTube, it's on the days where every YouTuber seems a little bit doomed. Every new month, there's something that makes it harder to be a YouTuber, makes it harder to get through the algorithm, makes it harder to get your money. I imagine back in whenever 2013, when people like H3H3 were at their biggest and Filthy Frank, and they were making money eating puke cakes. I imagine life would have been easier and less stressful then. But now there's a whole, you have to compete with the system. Do you ever find yourself, you feel like you're being penalized by the system for your content? Or do you manage to slip through all right and coast?
I think like every YouTuber, I've had those problems, like with videos being demonetized, but YouTube's doing a really good job of like fixing that up. So now I'm in a system where I'm actually not sure if I can talk about it, but like they've just really, I'm not sure, but they've really improved the systems of monetization. So if you consistently show them that, oh, look, like I'm being really honest with how I'm rating my content and what it is, like you learn the rules, like they don't want to demonetize you. It's just that it's really hard. Some people get copped with it, but other people just push the line really far. And I don't know, everyone's got their own personal struggles with this stuff. And I certainly have in the past, but I think I'm at a pretty good place now, which is good.
Well, it doesn't work in their favor to demonetize you, because if they're not running ads on your page, then they're not getting paid from the ads.
Exactly. They don't want to do that. It's just about the Adpocalypse, I'm guessing. It's just everything had an ad on it. And then people, of course, started uploading a beheading or something completely messed up, and that would have a whatever Nike ad on it. You can understand how it came to be when suddenly that's on the front page of a newspaper, and whatever company is not very happy that this ad was shown, and then it all just blew up. So I think since then they've done a pretty good job of ironing out that side of stuff. But yeah, I will still have problems, and everyone will still have problems. And
I tell you what, I think strange as a journalist. It's when that whole Adpocalypse, PewDiePie's a Nazi, PewDiePie's the devil kind of thing came out. People like newspapers and the broadsheets and the Wall Street Journal and stuff like that, they hated YouTubers. They were clearly just really jealous that people like PewDiePie were, at the time he was 50 million subscribers, so he was probably doing all right. I mean, I lived on the road that PewDiePie lived in Brighton, and
true.
It was nice. I was He had a proper big house, and I was round the corner living in a little student dig. But the media hated YouTubers. It was just clear that they just wanted to do anything they could to keep TV relevant. In the past couple of years or so, it feels like, I don't know what it's like for Australian media. It feels like they've slowly started coming to terms, and they've started. So this year, I don't know if you've heard of them or have them in your country. We have Strictly Come Dancing, which is a dancing show. We have I'm a Celebrity, which is, I don't know, they put people in the jungles and get them to eat like testicles, like actually eat them, not like red tube kind of eating testicles. And on
either way, send me a link, right?
Yeah. And every one of those shows has YouTubers on them at the moment. Yeah. Is it a little bit like that in Australia?
Yeah, I think, take someone like Laserbeam, who's just become like ridiculously big. I can imagine how frustrating it is for mainstream media that this just guy who was a tradie is getting whatever, he's getting 500 million views a month for his content that he's uploading. And like, he puts a lot of effort into it. Like, it's well deserved. But I can imagine like mainstream media, they'd be like, oh, look at these YouTubers getting 500,000 views, and we have a team of like 150 people who can't even get verified on Netflix or whatever it is. So yeah, I can see how it's happened, but I think it just shows how important it is to keep up. And yeah, that shift to digital media is, as it's happened, like it's too late to do it. But yeah, I think I'm a little bit worried for every kind of classic mediums of the ways things were. I mean, you look at, I don't know what it's like in Australia. All the shops in the UK are shutting down, and we had a big high street brand called Debenhams that shut down. Yeah, it's just because Amazon has just taken over, and I'm really worried that in the next 5 years, TV is going to be gone. It's all going to be live streams. It's all going to be really quick, like 10-second videos. Amazon next day delivery. You just never leave your house. But maybe I'm just stressing out. Maybe with COVID, it's not a bad thing, hey. But yeah, I think it's just been the way of the world. Some new technology, new culture changes just supersede, and some companies can be fluid and change their ways, and some stay stubborn and don't want to. Look, I'm not sure. I guess that's my only fear for the entertainment side of things. I don't think it's too worrying. Like, if someone's going to watch a YouTuber instead of a movie, then there's no real harm. I think with news, there used to be something. This is a big conversation, but when reporting on news, when it was a newspaper, there was some sort of like, you had to sort of, like, a newspaper had a reputation and it had responsibility, and that news had to be well reported and honest. Whereas now with like online, someone will just share a Facebook link with a very official looking page and people just believe it. Like, they'll read something online and they believe it. So I think that's the news type of thing. When you start to look into the political side of stuff, that's probably a bit worrying. But the entertainment side going online, I don't think I'm too fazed about.
It's a crazy thing about news. I mean, when Donald Trump, Clinton coined it, but when Donald Trump took it and ran with the whole fake news thing, everyone was like, that's ridiculous. But I think in the past year or so, people are noticing, well, actually, how credible is any of the news I'm actually looking at if after a day of the news being out, they have to retract their statements?
100%. And like, it's just who owns the news and what's the, I mean, you just don't know. Like, I don't really lean either way, especially publicly. Like, I try and avoid political stuff, but like, yeah, there's just so much underhand stuff going on with papers. Like, it's insane. Yeah. And but even more so online, it's just next level. Yeah. Australian politics seems wacky. I try and look at it occasionally just for the meme values. I'm trying to work out who is the funniest Australian politician? Because in our country, we got Boris, who's our prime minister, and he's funny but terrible, and we've got Nigel Farage, who is terrible. Have you got funny Australian? This is just for me to know. We've had a good lot of people. We had Tony Abbott. He was just the best. This man would jog in these tiny shorts and take bites out of onions. He'd forget like other world leaders' names. It was a crack up. So yeah, you wonder how these people get into power, but is what it is.
I love Australian terms so much. What do you call an electrician?
You can call them an electrician or a sparky.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, sorry, that's just like Australian terms. Yeah, we're part of the reason we're moving to Australia is just because I want to get called Meso and go on a smoko. So
I'd be calling it, like, by the time we talk next, I'll be calling you Meso for sure. So
is it? Yeah, dope. Yeah. The first time I met an Australian, he was like, "Oh, do you guys call cigarettes darts out here?" And I was like, "Yeah, we do." It was great. It was the best experience. Anyway, sorry.
Hell yeah. No, I fucking love it.
I'm back on the tangent again. Okay. So when you've just reached, I've got something in my eye. You've just reached 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That was, how long ago was that?
So a couple of weeks ago, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. 1 million subscribers. Have you got the gold plate button in the post yet?
I haven't yet. I've got to still organize that. I'll need to send them an email or something.
I imagine YouTube back in the day, they only had to send out a couple of gold play buttons. They must be sick of sending them out. Not to put down your 1 million subscribers.
Nah, thanks, man. Yeah, it's like not such a big deal. No, I'm kidding. I suppose I'll be sending it a lot out. I'll have to get on that.
You got a place in the home that you're going to put it thought out already?
Yeah, Anna's leaving the bed and it's just going to be right next to me so I can look at it every night before I fall asleep. Or on my roof of my bedroom.
Yeah.
I can just,
Yeah, next to the mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just live in my own, just become really self-obsessed and it'd be good.
Yeah, that's what I assume the life of a YouTuber's like. Just mirror on the ceiling. Have you seen American Psycho?
Mirror on the ceiling. Sorry?
Have you seen American Psycho?
A long time ago. The mirror on the ceiling, yeah.
There's a bit where he's having sex and he's just looking at himself in the mirror. It's just
the dream. That's the dream.
Looking at the gold play button. And I'm sorry. What I was gonna ask is where do you? So now you've hit the 1 million. Do you see your content changing much in the past years? A lot of people hit 1 million. So like over here, we've got like Will and people like that. And when they sort of hit 1 million, they formed the E-Boys. Do you ever see yourself forming one of those little gaming crews? Well, little. Be the next phase?
No, I don't think so. I think I got my mates, and that's like really good. I've joined Misfits Management, and like they're amazing. Like they're definitely just one of the best management companies I can tell. And they've got a lot of creators. Actually, I think I might be wrong, but I think they even represent Will and those guys you're talking about.
What does that mean for you? What can you do with management that you couldn't do before?
So like lots of things. Like one example would be they're helping me release some really, really, like I wanted to do some like good merch, some clothing and stuff. And you think, in theory, it's so simple. Like you just make some merch and you do it. But in practice, like designing it, there's something that's actually good to wear and shipping it out and organizing it and launching it. It's actually an incredibly big operation. And that's just what I learned YouTube is. Like every time you think you want to do something, in theory, it's just a couple of hours, but then it always just balloons out. So stuff like that just helped me with a few projects and they just kill it. They're really good at it. And I really like my manager, Sonia. She's amazing. So I think that being a part of them, I'll meet more YouTubers and, you never know what the future holds. But, man, I'm just chilling.
Have you got merch already?
Not at the moment, no.
Have you got ideas? Are you going to...
Yeah.
Is it going to be the normal sort of merch or are you going to do like a H3 thing where you make a fashion brand?
Yeah, like maybe like a hybrid in the middle. Like I did for a little while have like just a Pelican logo on a t-shirt. And then I just was like, this is a bit crap. So I'm trying to design something like people would actually wear. Like I was like, what would I want to wear? So I'm doing that, but it's still very like on brand. So yeah, you have to chat to me in 6 months to see how that goes. But no, I'm super excited.
You seem like a relatively fashionable guy, so I'm sure that it will turn out all right.
Oh mate, I carry Australia. I've literally got tracksuit pants on right now.
Yeah, but I can't see it. I can see the little round glasses, and you look a little bit like a hipster. So
thanks, man. Again, they're more for a practical use. Like I'm just incredibly blind, but I do appreciate it.
About it. I'm +6, +7. It is just not good times trying to go anywhere. I tried to get contact lenses for a festival, and anyway, that's a boring story. So, what's it? We're coming to the end, and I'll let you go soon.
I'm in no rush, honestly.
What's it been like in Australia recently with the whole pandemic? Is it your lockdown's been really tough? How's it?
Because we're an island because we're an island in the middle of nowhere. That's been helped us a lot. But of course, there's just been outbreaks. Like it's pretty hard to contain. Like I was telling you earlier before we actually started this, like because I'm from such a small town, it's just, we moved out here a few years ago just to be quieter, and that, all the cafes and bars and stuff have just stayed open the whole time. It's been pretty easy. But for like my family in Melbourne, oh my goodness, they've been basically under house arrest, as I imagine a lot of the UK is as well. So that's been pretty frustrating. But yeah, it kind of just is what it is. What are you, like, so out of our control? Like we can't really do a lot. So just hope that people
go down the pub the whole time.
Yeah, you just have to sit.
Yeah.
You can't stand. So that's all right. I prefer my beers seated anyway.
I wish that I was where you were. I love the idea of being down the pub the whole time.
I'm lucky, yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you think? I imagine it hasn't really affected your content that much if it hasn't really changed your life.
I guess kind of the irony of some of this is that YouTube's views have been up so high for every YouTuber. I think there was just a month there back in May or something like May, about April, May. Every YouTuber just had a record month for views because people were just hunting. They were so bored. There's nothing going on. So even though ad rates have been down, people have been watching more online content than ever. So yeah, I guess business-wise, kind of good, even in a very sadistic way. Like you wouldn't wish this on the world, but it is. That's been a result. So
yeah, it's funny hearing you say that because I guess you're right. Everyone has sort of been trawling for content and stuff like that. Did you have a certain thing that kept you busy at the beginning?
Did they keep coming in? I'm pretty lucky living with my partner. Like we've been together for, I guess, like 6 years or something now, and we're best mates, really close. So having her and her sister as well was living with us for a lot of it. So we had a bit of like a crew in the house going as well, which was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think being a fucking gamer, dude, like it's like, oh no, I can't go outside. Probably wouldn't anyway tonight, but like, you know what I mean? Like I do like going out and getting coffee and drinks, but like I love gaming, so that, like, I feel like it would hit a non-gamer much harder than it would hit someone who likes playing online games. That's for sure.
Yeah, we only managed to get through because we were playing Warzone.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And then Warzone had it got to like 300 gigabytes to be installed on our PlayStation, and we were like, yeah, that's no, thank you. What does your girlfriend do when you're doing or recording the videos and editing? Do you do it in one big load or?
Yeah, she's like worked a few different jobs. At the moment, she's actually just helping me out with like the social media side of stuff because, like, I mean, before YouTube, I didn't even have Instagram or Snapchat. Like, I just wasn't too into that side of stuff. But obviously, since getting the brand, that's really important. And I do really like having Twitter and Instagram as a way of like connecting with the fans. But she helps a lot with like getting TikToks out and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, she's amazing. Really, really a huge, huge help.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Are you a bit of an old head? Still listening to cassette tapes and stuff?
Not really.
Why not?
I don't know, man. Like even like having an Instagram, like taking photos of myself is so foreign. I just don't understand. But then it's like I love, I've got a Discord server where I can chat with like thousands of my people who support my videos, and like they're like, oh, we want to see more photos of you. Like it's so cool seeing your personal life. And I'm just like, all right. So I would try and start taking photos. So I just, I never did that, and now I'm trying to make that a bit more of a habit. And it's nice. Like I want them to see like what I'm up to if that's something people want to see. But I suppose in that regard, I'm a bit of an old head. Like it's definitely not front of mind.
Well, you've just started a second channel. Yeah, that's all got you in the top corner.
Yeah.
How come you started that?
I used to stream a lot on Twitch, so I'm sure you know all about Twitch, and it's really fun. Like that's just a really cool hangout. You just chat with people live, and really great way to collaborate with other creators, which I'm trying to do a little bit more. So my organizational skills are letting me down a bit on that one, but yeah. Then I'm hiring an editor who's going to just like edit up the stream and like add subtitles. And I was like, he did a test one for me because he was like, hey man, like he's in the UK with you. He's like, there's no jobs here. Like I'm really good at editing. Like check this out. Made this sick video. And I was just like, wow, okay. Yeah. Like I've got the perfect spot for content like this. So I really enjoy streaming, and as a byproduct, I enjoy making that kind of content. So as people enjoy it, just another sort of thing I can do as a bit of a side project, but yeah, see how it goes. I'm really excited for the second channel.
Are you planning on uploading a lot more for it?
Oh yeah, next year for sure.
Yeah,
I think so. But then people know they can find those more really like the bigger projects on Modest Pelican. So if they don't want the live stuff, it's on a completely separate, channel. Just because I don't want to really have, I think it's important to keep them separated because they're pretty different. So yeah.
And it's nice having a place where all your long projects sit. The stuff that you do. How long does it usually take you to make a video?
Usually just varies. Massively varies. Like for a video for like a game called DayZ, which you're probably not too familiar with. It's a bit more niche.
I know that.
But I might play that for 10 hours, and then obviously to edit and script and put together a 10-hour video, that's a lot of time. But for other games, it's much quicker. It just really varies, like depending on how fast I'm working. But there was definitely a time there where I was doing a video every 3.5 days for twice a week. So that's a pretty good turnaround, I guess. But I think I was kind of getting to a point where I was like, this is probably not the best work-life balance, putting out this much stuff. So I'm trying to find a bit of a balance with the second channel and the main channel, but I really enjoy what I'm doing. So
what's your upload schedule like at the moment? Have you got one, or do you just sort of upload?
Yeah, once or twice a week, definitely every Sunday, and then I'll sometimes put another one up.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Everyone seems really understanding about it. Like no one really is worried about it. They just seem to just,
Your fan base seems surprisingly very nice all the time.
Yeah, they're super nice. I don't know.
Not surprisingly, there's no reason that they wouldn't be, but
yeah.
But YouTube can be pretty toxic with its fans.
I think because I just genuinely don't really care about like I encourage even my fans to roast me, and like I'm happy to roast myself. Like I don't know about what it's like being a lad in the UK, but being a guy in Australia, like I could wear literally any shirt down to meet the boys at the pub, and they will fucking ridicule me for it. It's just part of who we are. Like they'll make jokes, you banter. It's all just like love. I'd be worried if they didn't. So I think that's just kind of translated on. So like, honestly, if someone wrote a hate comment, I would not be sure if they were just being satirical or if they were being serious, because it's such a high, so I just don't.
Wow.
I think people could say that I don't care. Like it's more fun trolling and being toxic to someone who gives like a really good reaction. I think anyway, I don't know.
yeah. Not talking out of personal experience.
Well, if someone's like, goes into their Twitch chat, it's like, you have a big nose. Like someone might say I have a big nose. I'll just, I'm happy for them to say that. But whereas someone's like, I do not have a big nose, it's so much more fun to troll the person who's having a tantrum about it. I don't know. There's a bit of that going on.
Do you think your online personality is much different to your real life personality?
Not like, if it is, it's not intentional, but I'm sure, that just that process of making content and editing it and putting up online, there's probably a little bit of difference, but I definitely, from like the second channel would be like extremely authentic because that's just live gameplay. But I've tried to keep it pretty authentic, but I think there is definitely like a creative process that might change it a bit. But like, you'd have a better idea than me, I guess, talking to me now compared to watching the main channel. So yeah.
You seem pretty much like you are on the main channel.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
that's good to hear.
I was a little bit surprised when I saw your face yesterday, because I didn't realize you had a second channel until yesterday. So I saw it and I was like, I wasn't expecting him to look like that.
What did you expect me to look like?
A bird.
That would be perfect.
Well, I don't know, but I guess you have an idea of whenever anyone does a face reveal, you put the voice with a face in your mind, and then it comes out, and they never look the way you expected. So,
yeah, that's interesting.
Well, you were a man. If you'd come out and you were a girl, then that would have surprised me.
I thought you were going to say that would have made more sense, and I was going to be like,
yeah.
thanks, man.
Yeah, maybe.